Hello everyone, I hope you're having a good week. I want to start off by wishing Mazal Tov to Andrew and Veronique Berman on Netanel's Bar Mitzvah. What a wonderful occasion, Netanel. I'm really looking forward to addressing you more fully on Sunday and to celebrating with you. But in the meantime, I wanted to wish you, your dear parents, your grandparents, and Josh Mazal Tov on this wonderful occasion. Netanel, I'm looking forward to experiencing much more nachas from you, together with your parents, and the whole community celebrates with you and offers their bracha. This week, besides the normal Kriyas HaTorah, is also Parshat HaChodesh, the special shabbos before Rosh Chodesh Nisan, when we read about the very first mitzvah given to the Jewish people as a nation. And this is actually Moshe's first address to the Jewish people after they're told they're going to be going free. And Moshe explains to them, HaChodesh hazeh lochem Rosh Chodoshim, that the new moon is the determinant of the new month in the Jewish calendar, that we merge the lunar months with the solar year and ensure that even though we use the slightly shorter lunar months, nonetheless the year remains fixed with an Aviv, spring, Pesach, Nisan start. And these are the technical details of how the calendar works. And this is an absolutely strange and bizarre idea. The first mitzvah given to the Jewish people as a nation, the technical details around the calendar. And this is the first address that Moshe is instructed to give to the Jewish people after their freedom has been announced. Now let's just imagine for a moment, we're about to speak to a group of slaves who have been told they're going to be released from prison, freed from slavery. And we ask ourselves, what sort of message would I want to give? What sort of words would I want to say to this group excited to explore their newfound freedom? And the answer the Torah gives us is a technical mitzvah about how a calendar works. This is most difficult and most strange. So there's a number of answers to this question. In Parshat HaChodesh, in the simplest reading of the Pasuk, the Sefano explains that what Moshe is saying to the Jewish people is, HaChodesh hazeh lochem Rosh Chodoshim. This is your month. This is for you. This is Rosh Chodoshim. This is the first of the months that you will experience. Till now you've been a slave. Slaves don't have ownership of their time. They don't have the ability to set their own schedule. But now you're going free. This is your time, your months, your calendar. Think well what you do with it and how you use it. This is one idea in the Pasuk. There's a second idea, perhaps going a little deeper, in which when we reflect on the concept of a calendar really sets the pace of life, the rhythm of the events we go through, the cycle of the year, and it molds our emotions and our experiences, our celebrations and our moods. And a calendar is therefore very important for society. It really reflects the nation and the national functioning and the way we live together as a community. So when we live in a foreign culture, we're somehow subservient to the foreign culture's calendar. Perhaps even now in the blessing of living in the UK, we ring more to the rhythm of life, to a January or even the December holiday seasons, than we always do to our own calendar. Perhaps we can more quickly answer what secular month it is than what Jewish month it is. And therefore, this is Moshe's message to the Jewish people. HaChodesh hazeh lochem Rosh Chodoshim. You no longer have to live subservient to the Egyptian national calendar. You now have your own calendar, your own rhythm and pace of life, your own events and cycle of year to celebrate. Live with HaChodesh hazeh lochem, with the Jewish pace of life, with the Jewish calendar, not subservient to a foreign and different culture. A second pshat in the Pasuk. And a third idea, perhaps why this is such a central and important message and mitzvah, is an idea expressed by Samson Raphael Hirsch. And he explains as follows. He says this calendar, this combination of lunar and solar calendar that we already mentioned, reflects two ways of looking at the world. There's a natural and normal way of setting a yearly calendar by the solar calendar. And indeed, this was the calendar used in Egypt and the calendar that we do use to this day in the Western world. It's an agricultural calendar. It makes sense. It's natural. It goes with the cycle of the seasons and the sun. But there's also something a little bit passive about it. We're somehow seeing ourselves and our calendar as subservient to the natural cycle. We're just part of the biological rhythm and pace of the natural cycle of the world. But we have another option. We can create our own time rather than floating passively to the externally imposed time of nature, like so much flotsam floating on the river. We can build our own year. And this is what the lunar calendar is. It has the months, but there's nothing that determines the passage of the year other than us human beings determining that 12 lunar months makes a year. But there's a danger in only following the lunar calendar. Because if we use a calendar which is only lunar, we can become detached from natural life. We can have all the high ideals of making our own rhythm to life, of setting our own pace, but forget to see whether it's actually in accordance with how the real world works. And with that, we would drift to a fundamentalism, an idealism in which we're conscious of the lunar calendar, but detached from the real function of the natural world. But if we only lose solar, then we can lose spirituality. We can become fully immersed in the physical world with the seasons and the natural cycle of earning our living. And therefore the Torah tells us, we need a combination. We need to find spirituality in the physicality, but always check that we're not becoming too physical. We need to engage in spirituality, but always check that we're not becoming detached from the reality of the world. And therefore this is the fitting message pre-Geula. This is the message that Moshe gave to the Jewish people. The first mitzvah that he gave them, HaChodesh Parshat HaChodesh. 3 thoughts. You're going free, it's now your own time. Use it well. Secondly, whose calendar do we live in? Do we create our own, or are we subservient to the culture of others? And finally, what does a true Jewish calendar look like? Balancing lunar and solar. Idealism with the reality of the natural world. Engagement with the material, but always remembering the spiritual. Living spiritually, but always checking it works within the society and world we live in. So I wish you all Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos and Chodesh Tov as we embark on this exciting journey of Chodesh Nisan and leading to Pesach. Be well.